15 days ago. The main event that rocked One World Championship Wrestling and the entire wrestling world to its core. Fans and professional wrestlers around the world were left asking, exclaiming, a work? A shoot? A worked shoot? What just happened? No one had an answer, but everyone knew. Hell, everyone felt the seismic buzz that left wrestling fans everywhere with an adrenaline-induced pulse. A pulse that had never been felt. This was a pulse so strong that fans around the world could not ignore. Dirt sheets, content creators, and wrestling forums remained lit up and white-hot as everyone did their best to decipher what everyone had witnessed. The truth was, what had been watched was not something that could be clearly conveyed to those unfortunate fans who did not see the main event of OWCW's yearly marquee pay-per-view in real time. Every year, OWCW drew fans from around the globe, and many fans purchased tickets a year in advance, as OWCW always made sure to give the fans an unforgettable experience. One World Championship. Wrestling, Nirvana calls, hell awaits. One World Championship Wrestling just put on its biggest, and by most accounts, its best pay-per-view in recent memory. OWCW needed this show to jumpstart much-needed momentum as they ushered in a new era and passed the torch to the younger talent within the promotion. Nirvana calls, hell awaits, drew very high praise for the world-renowned promotion that had experienced far more success and, at one time, far more mainstream attention than any other professional wrestling. They drew far more attention and buzz than they could ever imagine. Before we get to the swerve everyone was talking about, let's revisit some very important history from OWCW. Davis Devil Dog Dillon, a 42-year-old professional wrestler, living legend, 18-time World Heavyweight Champion, finds himself in the middle of the One World Championship Wrestling ring, in a collar and elbow tie-up with his former pupil and one-time protege. Not just any former pupil, not just any one-time protege. No, this is Kashius King, the son of Mad Dog Dillon's best friend, former tag team partner, and, at one time, his biggest and most heated on-screen rival, Dakota King-Grayson. To the wrestling world, he was simply DKG. Davis, Devil Dog Dillon, and Dakota Grayson King had drawn more of the other's blood on every continent, but Antarctica as they set a new standard for professional wrestling feuds. These men poured their blood out across 27 different countries, in the longest, most captivating blood feud ever known to professional wrestling. For years, every promotion around the world, including OWCW, did everything in their power to recreate even the slightest bit of chemistry, magic, and mainstream attention of the now infamous blood feud between Dillon and Grayson King. Unfortunately, no one catches lightning in the same bottle twice. No one. Forged and bound. Their feud had to be seen, to be believed. It had to be experienced, to be understood. This feud had to be accepted. Accepted? Yes, accepted. Fans worldwide had to accept the fact that no matter how surreal it felt, their eyes had not deceived them, and their ears had not failed them. Fans in attendance had to accept that the electric ferocity produced in an OWCW ring had indeed permeated from the ring. That same palpable electricity from the squared circle always made its way out of the ring. As fans worldwide were deeply invested in both wrestlers, the electricity would make its way to every individual, in every seat. Next, that electricity wrapped itself around everyone in the arena. Then, as a crowd, with the crowd in a complete frenzy, without fail, the place would come unglued and force the roof off of the place. However, what was not known nor understood in the beginning of this legendary feud was that the unexplainable energy, the undeniable force, the brute strength and power which always blew the roof off the place, was reaching millions, worldwide, where it would deeply embed itself into the hearts, minds, and memories of any and everyone that sat captivated as they watched. What came to be accepted in time was that there are no words, in any language known to man, to help explain to anyone who had not experienced this feud firsthand, how Devil Dog and MKG, both, survived their abnormally furious, brutal battles. These two men, mere mortals, survived what should not be survived by anyone, anywhere. This feud was dubbed Forged and Bound, as both men had been forged by fire and would be forever bound by the blood that was spilled. Mad Dog and DKG, with every encounter, somehow found heightened intensity. With every clash, they dug more deeply and found a more severe aggression. In every match, they drew from a deeply profound well of violence. Sweat became blood, bruises became scars. Bones were broken, flesh torn from their bodies. The canvases of wrestling rings around the world were what these two legends used to create never-before-seen, unforgettable, violent and bloody art. They crashed through tables, destroyed chairs, used thumbtacks, shards of glass, and every tool imaginable became weapons. The violence never decreased. The brutality never lessened. Both men showed no regard for their bodies and always found new ways to increase the brutal violence from one battle to the next. If not for their in-ring generalship, backgrounds in amateur wrestling, and brilliant incorporation of jiu-jitsu, the violence displayed would have no rhyme or reason. The intensity of their brutality towards one another would have no appeal.